I don't think that ultimately we're going to be able to restrain trade. Trade is going to continue to come. A percentage of it will be siphoned off, if you will, to some of the alternative gateways that are being discussed in Mexico and Canada. But by our projections, even if all of those projects come to fruition within the next 5 years, at best it would buy us the capacity to handle about 3 years' worth of U.S. trade growth. So in the long term, we have got to deal with our issues in Southern California and on the West Coast in place in Southern California.
Infrastructure improvement is clearly required to continue operating the LA Long Beach Harbor efficiently, especially when the projected growth materializes. The effects of larger ships bringing in massive quantities of goods, coupled with the U.S. population growth feeding the ever-increasing demand for containerized imports, could make local freeway travel nearly impossible. More rail service to send containers directly to the nation's interior will be essential. This is a problem of national scope. However, Southern California disproportionately bears the environmental cost of bringing in the cargo. Simultaneously, though, the region benefits from jobs created, businesses stimulated, and tax revenues generated.
There was a mandate in the mid to late 90s from the Commission at that time to grow the port and to really increase its profitability as an asset to the city. And that made sense, and it continues to make sense as an economic engine for the city, for the region, for the country, for that matter. But I think that at that time there wasn't a recognition that there would be these detrimental environmental effects. And I think as time has gone on, those have become more and more of major concern to residents.
There are basically two challenges with growth in Los Angeles Long Beach goods movement. The first challenge is the additional congestion and air pollution that would inevitably result without major mitigation efforts. The community's concerns about clean air and maintaining a healthy quality of life must be addressed. Recently published studies about the ominous health impacts of air pollution generated by activity at the ports cannot be disregarded. Many in the community don't believe the jobs and economic benefits are worth the environmental impact. Striking the balance becomes more difficult as communities perceive threats to their quality of life.
Within a year, we know that hundreds of people die from diesel emissions that are directly linked to goods movement industry. Now, if that was to happen in one day or in 1 hour, we would call it a disaster. But because it's in slow motion, we perceive it to be different. So we really would like people to look at this as an environmental justice issue, that no one should pay the cost of cheap goods.
From our perspective, we tried to focus on the health risks associated with the port activity. I think if we can do that and we can get those levels down below to the insignificant level, then we can achieve that balance. And I think we want to go a little bit further in terms of, we just don't want to do this for the level of growth we have here now. I think we want to look towards the future. And recognizing that our volumes are going to increase, we want to be able to facilitate the growth that our customers are forecasting and provide the types of facilities that they need. And but we're going to have to do that hand in hand with working on this air emission issue.
The second challenge is finding the funding for infrastructure improvements that can increase capacity, reduce congestion, and mitigate environmental impacts. The amount of money needed to upgrade the current infrastructure with environmental mitigation is estimated at $36 billion. The federal government has provided some funding, but it's only a fraction of the amount required. State government typically has limited dollars available and struggles with deficits. Bond initiatives, however, may show promise. Private industry also will be asked to pay a share. Fees and surcharges for goods movement may be a partial solution, though agreement on the processes and the amounts is uncertain.
If there is no improvement in infrastructure, the demand here is quite elastic. Even a fee of $60 per 40-foot container would result in 6% of the volume leaving for other ports. On the other hand, if there is a major program of infrastructure improvement, a specific program involving dedicated truck lanes, to the where the transloading warehouses are, connecting them with the ports. If there's expansion of the railroad terminals and network to accommodate higher volumes with increased reliability of transit times, then even a fee as large as $200 per 40-foot equivalent unit would not result in a loss of total traffic.
We're looking to get the best value for the people of California, and to do that we want to make sure that we bring all the parties to the table. That's why this is a systems approach to look at all the needs comprehensively so that we don't waste resources. We're looking for all the federal sources that we normally go after, but also there's other federal funds that we believe are quite appropriate, Homeland Security and energy-related appropriations that will be available to California. So we want to tap all of that. In addition, we see that there is an opportunity for private investment, and for that we're looking to get past public-private partnership legislation that will enable the state to pursue these partnerships in a way that will attract foreign or other investment potential so that we can get the best bang for the buck for the people of California.
Ultimately, the communities, the goods movement industry, cargo owners, government agencies, end users, and local politicians must come to a consensus with state and federal legislators on the urgency of the infrastructure problem and the methods required to mitigate the environmental impact. Funding for solutions must come from a combination of public and private sources. This is now a national problem because of the economic stakes involved. The voice of California needs to be heard as a united chorus of shared interests and vital needs in this ongoing debate and dialogue.